Hey guys, so I hope everyone is doing well. Today we will be looking at the VLOOKUP formula, Xlookup formula, index match and if error formula. This is the part 5 of the data analysis and dashboard building series. Those of you who have been following the series know that I'm using the raw data worksheet to build dashboard, mostly using pivot table and pivot charts. In this raw data worksheet, we have date, we have SKU, which uniquely identifies the product name, quantity sold for each transaction, unit price of each product, revenue, which is quantity multiplied by unit price, or basically which says the dollar value sales we earned for each product sold. This is the size, unit cost, and total cost. Now you can see the unit cost column is empty, right? The unit cost information is another worksheet, which is in product details worksheet. We can see that in product details worksheet we have the product type, unit price, unit cost, and SKU number. So we have to use these formulas to bring the unit cost information into raw data worksheet, right? So our first task is to use the VLOOKUP formula. That's what we will do. So in VLOOKUP formula, what we will do, we will press the equal sign, VLOOKUP, tab. When we press tab, it starts the formula, starts the bracket. Lookup value, we will select only first one. This is the lookup value. We are trying to find out the unit cost for basics, comma, table array. Table array means basically the entire range which has the lookup range and which has the values. And you have to remember this, that in case of VLOOKUP, the lookup range needs to be leftmost column, right? So column B has the lookup range, and I'll select the entire range up to unit cost, which is the third column, 3. So this you have to remember, the value is in third column. And then I'll press comma, I'll select the 3, which is column index number, the third column where we have the values, comma, approximate match or index match. I always use I always use exact match. I don't know who uses approximate match. I need the exact unit cost for this product. Approximate unit cost doesn't mean anything to me. So I'll just select this one and then close the bracket. Okay, we have got 15. And if I go and double check basics, we have the basics and we have the unit cost 15 here. Okay, but so you have to remember, if for VLOOKUP, instead of starting with column B, if we started with column A, which we often do, we often start our VLOOKUP by mistake from the very left column, but we shouldn't do that yet. So we have to start where the lookup range is. If I select it from A, then it would just show us not applicable, which is there's no value for it. So it's not, formula is not valid, right? So I'll just press Ctrl Z, and this is something you have to remember. And then what I'll do, I'll just double click here, and that is going to fill everything. Okay, now there's some NA. Why this NA? Because the VLOOKUP formula cannot find the unit cost for care products. There is a care product, but VLOOKUP cannot find it. The reason is there is a S missing. So that means the lookup range must be exactly spelled in the correct way. So if I put a S here, and then go back, then we have all the values, right? So now we don't have like the NA. Okay, So that is the VLOOKUP formula. Now let's look at the XLOOKUP formula. XLOOKUP formula is just easy. You don't have to put the lookup range in the leftmost column. So the way we will work, equals XLOOKUP, right? And then I'll just press tab. It will start the formula. Lookup value, again basics, comma, go to product details. I'll select the first column. Now there's no more table array, comma, and return array. Then we will select the entire column where we have the value, and we will close the bracket. It's going to get us the same same unit cost, right? And if I double click here, we have unit cost for every product. Okay, so that's XLOOKUP. And then we will use the index match to get the same formula, right? Now for VLOOKUP, you have to start from left and you have to go to right, right? So let's suppose you don't know the product. Suppose you have to look up by SKU number 514, right? So equals, okay, if I start the VLOOKUP, I select 514, right? And I need the unit cost for 514, and I go to product details. The SKU is the lookup range, which is SKU in this case, is on the right. The unit cost is on the left. So how do I select then? If I do this, it won't work because the lookup range needs to be on the left. If I try to do this, is the same result. So let's try to do this. I'll select from here. I'll go from right to left. I'll go, comma, select, because it's the, now in this case the value is in the second column. I have selected 2, and then I'll just select comma, and I'll select false, which means exact match. Enter is showing NA. So nothing, no value. And if our lookup range is on the right, if our values are on the left, we cannot use VLOOKUP. That's a shortcoming of VLOOKUP. So we will use index match. The way we will do, we will write index tab. Now what you have to do, you have to select the value range first. Okay, so go to value range, to product details, and select the entire value range. Okay, so that's your first thing. The result needs to come right after index. That's how you remember. Okay, then comma, and write match. Tab, start the formula. Now select the lookup value. In this case is SKU, which is 514, comma, what is the lookup array? Where is the lookup range? So product details, select the entire column, lookup range, and then comma, you want the exact match, right? So close. And because there are two formulas, you have to use like close twice, use closing parenthesis twice, so twice, then enter. Now you have the same result, right? So this is the this is how you like overcome the shortcoming of VLOOKUP. And this is why XLOOKUP comes handy, because for XLOOKUP all you are doing, you are selecting the lookup, and you are selecting the value range. It doesn't matter whether it's left, whether it's right. The only problem is XLOOKUP is a very new formula. I think it's available after 2016 Office. So if those who are using the older version of Office, the XLOOKUP will not work. And just remember, if you're using a new formula, Don't try to experiment much, because maybe in your version Xlookup is working, but if someone is using maybe a 2010 office, they won't see any of your calculation. They won't see all the jumbled up values. So just be careful with that. Okay, so that's our index match, and the last one is our use if error formula to set condition for value not found. Now here we have NA again. The problem with NA is that when you create a pivot table and try to create a summary, it's going to mess up your numbers. For example, because we have got NA here, our pivot table result, which is part of our dashboard, is showing NA in the summary, and it doesn't show any number for the total cost. So that's why you cannot really have NA in your data. How to get rid of that? We use the if error formula. So before VLOOKUP, we will use if error. Start the formula. What it is saying, if VLOOKUP cannot find a data, what do you want to put? Okay, so suppose what I do, if there's no data, I just ask if error to put 0 like this, and I close the formula. So first we have if error formula, that's what we are closing. We also have VLOOKUP formula, which we are closing here. Okay, enter and then double click. Okay, so now if there is no value, it is 0. And if I go here and update pivot table, at least what I'll get the sum, and it will just show 0 for care products. In Xlookup, you can just combine the if error formula. So Xlookup basics, select the lookup range, and then select this range, and see the next is if not found. What do you want Excel to put? I want Excel to put 0, and then it's an exact match. I'll select it. 0 means exact match, and then enter, and I'm going to get the same result. See, it's the same result. It's 0 for care products is 0. So that's it for this video. If you like the video, please leave a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. In the future videos, we will continue to build the dashboard. I hope you'll love those videos as well.